that race in just a minute as he wins the Maryland Million Classic, putting the cart before the horse here,
Yes.
but he gets our nod as our top trainer of the week. Dick, a very special feature this week, a little road trip for Let's Go Racing as we headed down to Kentucky to check in on the Smart Man.
Yeah, it was our man Bruce Casella was down there with crew and hanging with Smarty as he did most of the spring. So Bruce is back.
About to begin his breeding career, and apparently they kind of have to teach him what to do.
That's my understanding. I don't really know how that works, Keith,
Right.
but yeah, that's what they do with horses.
Well, we're about to find out. Put out the little PG-13 rating here, but let's check in on Smarty Jones as he gets set for his standing at stud down in Kentucky.
So this is Smarty Jones. Smarty was born in Pennsylvania. What happened to this horse was the concussion of him racing and the hard races, and as fast and as hard as he ran, he bruised the bottom parts of these bones right here. These are called cannon bones, and as they come into the ankle, he bruised the bottom of those bones. And it's just like you wrenching your ankle really hard, but he did them in all four. So it's something that he will recover from. It may take as long as 6 months, and his owners felt that instead of taking the risk putting him back on the track and injuring himself further, they thought they'd just go ahead and retire him.
Smarty Jones is doing great. I mean, he's a happy horse. I think as much as good racehorses love to race, they love being allowed to be horses on grass, and just right now he's just living the life of Riley.
He seems like he's a very smart horse. I don't think he'll have any trouble. Probably in the next month, in November, we'll start introducing him to some mares that we have here. They're older mares, mares that are quiet and calm and can take a little bit of a young man not knowing exactly what to do. And we'll start him with those mares, and then we'll actually do a semen collection on him and make sure everything's all right, and then he'll start breeding his mares in February.
Dan, what is his routine?
His routine now is the same as all the other stallions. They get turned out about 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the afternoon. They're in paddocks, individual paddocks, then until 7 o'clock the next morning. They're brought up in the morning at 7 o'clock and fed and groomed, and the other stallions are ridden every day. He is not being ridden yet because of his the injury that forced his retirement, but when he's completely healed from that, he will be ridden again. And otherwise, he spends the day in his stall with people coming and going all day long, oohing and eyeing and taking his picture. We will start teaching him the breeding routine sometime probably next month. In the winter, we turn the stallion schedules around so that they are in the barn at night and out of the barn in their paddocks every day during the day. And then during the breeding season from February to June, we breed at 9 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and sometimes again at 7 o'clock p.m.
If you want to pet him, if you want to come right up here, touch his shoulder, you can pet him. He doesn't like for you to poke on him. So if you just want to stroke him softly, stay away from his head and his rear end, one bites, one kicks, and if you go maybe 2 at a time instead of rushing him, that would be great.
It's unbelievable, and I should say that we have had a lot of experience with the public and the press over the years. First of all, having stood Seattle Slew, who was also America's horse and had we had 10,000 fans a year coming to see Seattle Slew, and fan mail and press, and we also had a mare here named Genuine Risk, who won the Kentucky Derby, the second filly ever to win the Kentucky Derby, and she had her first foal at the age of 16, and it was a huge national story. It was covered by every news organization in the world, and again, thousands and thousands of fan mail. And having said all that, I've never seen anything like Smarty Jones, the Smarty Jones phenomena. We've had to hire someone full-time just to schedule the tours, give the tours, and answer the fan mail. It's phenomenal. We do think it's very important to allow racing's fans to see their heroes and to see the stars, and we've always done this. We are having tours 5 days a week, 50 people per tour. They are booked well into the future, booked up. We are terribly sorry that we have to turn people away, but when we're full, and the demand is just unbelievable.
Well, Dick, by all reports, Smarty has adjusted just tremendously down there and is really doing great.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. And Smarty Jones, what are your expectations?
Now, Billy Foster apparently went down to see him recently, and he
correct.
just started squealing, and he was all excited. He recognized Billy and was glad to see
there
him.
were some people that think like horses don't recognize people that have been around them. Bill proved otherwise, because Bill went down there to visit a weekend or so ago, and he was all over.
Well, the breeding season starts in January, and certainly wish all the best to the smart man. Dick, time for a little race recap. We're going to start our action and race recap by going down to Pimlico for a look at the Maryland Million Classic. And Dick, as I mentioned, put the cart before the horse a little bit. This one features presidential